Following our free educational materials, you learn English in a great way with ease and efficiency.
Can you believe the headlines?
What are you reading?
I'm reading about Michael Milliken, the Bond King.
Didn't he sell worthless stocks to people or something? He got arrested for that, didn't he?
He got arrested all right.
If I remember, he got off with a light sentence. Something like 3 years in a minimum security prison.
Yup, that's him. He made millions of dollars selling bonds to people and ended up with a pile of cash when they became useless.
I think the government fined him a small amount, and he kept the rest in his foreign bank accounts. He's still a millionaire.
That's the kind of thing in America that gets me mad. Some guy pulls off a stock scheme and makes millions while spending the bare minimum sentence in jail.
I know. And some poor guy that robs a liquor store makes $500 at most and ends up in jail for 5 to 10 years.
Yup, you got it. Criminals in America do a lot better if they're white-collar thieves.
So what's Michael Milliken up to these days?
He's giving lectures on business at colleges.
London is such a historical city. There's history everywhere you look. There's Nelson's Column, built as a monument to one of the Britain's great admirals and his important victory. He won the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805.
I'm looking forward to seeing Westminster Abbey, where many historical figures are buried, like Isaac Newton, the great mathematician, and Winston Churchill, the great wartime leader.
Nearby, on the banks of the Thames, there's the statue of Boudica. She fought the Romans when they invaded Britain.
Women have often played an important role in British history. Queen Elizabeth I built a navy strong enough to fight off the Spanish Armada in 1588. More recently, Margaret Thatcher transformed British society in the 1980s.
She was a very controversial leader. Are we going to visit the famous Tower of London later?
There's a lot to see there. Perhaps we should go tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to seeing the famous castle and prison. Many historic figures were imprisoned there in the past. I really want to see the crown jewels too.
I've seen them before. They're quite incredible. If you want to see historical figures in London, there's one place you have to go.
Where's that? Oh, I know. Madame Tussauds The Waxworks Museum.
There you can see British leaders, entertainers, criminals, and royalty.
Sometimes, it's hard to know who belongs in each section of the museum.
Don't you have too much to do with him?
Why not?
His father is a prisoner.
So what? His father is in prison, not he.
Don't you agree that all the thieves should be punished by cutting off their fingers?
I'm afraid many people would turn thumbs down on it.
Don't you think in that case, there wouldn't be so much stealing?
Definitely. But I think it is too fierce.
What do you think about all the different diets people go on?
I don't think dieting is good for you. It's much better to eat a balanced diet and to never get overweight to begin with.
But what do you think about people who are obese? What should they do to lose weight?
They need to eat healthy foods, but they also have to increase the amount of exercise they do every day. They don't have to cut out fattening foods altogether, though.
So you think it's okay for people who are dieting to eat chocolate?
Sure, they can eat some chocolate. As long as they are exercising and eating mostly healthy foods, there's nothing wrong with having a small dessert.
How about drinking soda?
Many people gain weight by drinking far too much soda. Soda should be a treat. There's simply no nutritional value in it whatsoever. If you want to lose weight and you can't stop drinking soda, try.
That's good advice. Have you ever tried taking vitamins?
My mother used to make me take vitamins every day, but I don't take them anymore. Vitamins are good as a supplement, but they don't do much good if you don't have a well-balanced diet to start.
How do you know so much about food and dieting?
You might not believe this, but I used to be twice the size than I am now.
Ah, what a fine day. I do feel like an outdoor exercise.
How about taking a walk in the park?
Okay, it's delightful to have a walk in the park with the air so fresh.
Oh, it's so quiet here. We have the park to ourselves, only you and me.
Don't you see many people over there? Just on your left.
Oh, I see them. Some are doing Taijiquan. Some are performing swordplay. Some are practicing the Chinese wushu.
A growing keep fit fever is sweeping over China.
Hello, I'm Jason.
Hi, my name is Dolma.
Nice to meet you, Dolma.
Good to meet you too.
Hey, Mary, nice to see you again. I heard you're going back home to the US.
Yes, I'm leaving tomorrow. I came here just because I want to say goodbye to you.
You're so thoughtful. Wish you a good trip home. And we'll miss you.
I'll miss you too, my friends.
Wasn't that a great flick? I was on the edge of my seat through the whole movie.
I would say it was a typical run-of-the-mill Hollywood thriller.
Well, I'm no movie expert, but those special effects were impressive by any standards.
Special effects? Baloney. That movie was made on a shoestring budget. They've been using trick photography like that for years.
Okay, but you have to admit that it was an exciting story, especially with that surprise ending.
You should read the book. The original story is much better and has a different twist at the end.
Oh, really? How does the book end?
Read it yourself and find out.
What kinds of TV programs do you enjoy watching?
I like current affairs programs and documentaries, especially wildlife ones. How about you?
I like those kinds of programs too. They're very informative. I think that many people underrate the education value of TV.
I agree. People often criticize TV for showing too much sex and violence.
Yeah, and that's so funny because most people prefer watching sex and violence to watching something more educational.
Right. You can't blame the TV stations for showing popular kinds of programs. They need to make money from advertisements shown during and between programs.
In my country, there's a time limit on the advertisements that can be shown. I think it's about 6 minutes per hour.
That's great idea, but don't the TV station lose a lot of money because of that?
No, they don't. They simply charge higher prices at peak times. Is there no limit on the amount of advertisements that can be shown on TV in your country?
Not as far as I know. We have so many advertisements. The interruptions are unbearable sometimes. That's one reason that many people prefer satellite or cable TV, where you pay a fixed amount each mo.
Some people have satellite and cable TV in my country, but people don't seem too keen to pay for their TV programs. Besides, the terrestrial channels offer a good range of programs.
Well, there's a wildlife documentary on TV in a few minutes. Shall we?
Is learning the English language your toughest challenge yet? Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials.